Every human life shares a single, guaranteed endpoint. The pulse slows, the eyes close, and the physical heart beats its very last time. But what happens in the immediate seconds after that silence? Does human consciousness simply blink out of existence? Or is it pulled into a structured new reality? And if so, who exactly comes to the deathbed to collect us? For centuries, the Garuda Purana has served as a record of these unseen moments. It offers a precise, unflinching account of the soul's journey into the afterlife. Ignoring the end of life does nothing to delay it. This ancient text seeks to remove the mystery from the transition, documenting the exact stages of the soul's departure. This knowledge was born from empathy. According to the text, the bird king Garuda, witnessing the cycle of human suffering and death, approached the Creator with a plea to understand the ultimate fate of mankind. Lord Vishnu answered by revealing the hidden architecture of the afterlife, detailing how the universe processes human actions and dispenses spiritual justice. Sages refer to the resulting work as Jivana Vedam. In these teachings, the mechanics of death are used to define the ethics of living. The descriptions of torment establish the weight of this code, illustrating that every earthly action carries a corresponding spiritual consequence long after the body is gone. The transition begins with a total biological collapse. The dying person loses the ability to speak. Sight blurs into shadows, and the voices of grieving relatives become unrecognizable noise. Exactly as the physical senses shut down, the text describes a temporary divine vision that activates. The veil drops, and the dying individual begins to see straight into the spiritual realm. What they see are the Yama. These are massive, dark, cosmic enforcers with fiery red eyes, standing right inside the room, carrying thick, inescapable nooses. The fear of biological failure is quickly replaced by a far more visceral dread, the awareness that these enforcers have stepped from the shadows to collect their due. The physical body does not let go easily. The Yama must forcefully grip the life force and rip it away from the dying flesh. Once extracted, the consciousness immediately transfers into the Sukshma Sariram, an ethereal, invisible subtle body. The newly separated soul remains fully aware. It looks down at its own lifeless corpse and watches its family weeping. It screams out to them, trying to communicate, but remains entirely unheard and unseen. When the doctor checks the pulse and says, "Pranam Puyindi," the life has left. The true tragedy is already underway. The soul is suddenly and completely isolated from everything it has ever known. There is no time to mourn. The Yama tighten the noose around the soul's neck and begin dragging it southward. Almost immediately, the soul is hit with an agonizing, supernatural hunger and thirst. This newly formed subtle body has no internal energy. For the first 12 days of this march, the soul is entirely defenseless against the harsh conditions of the afterlife path. This is where the actions of the living matter. The Pinda Pradana, food offerings made by the family during the final rites, directly transmute across realms. These offerings provide the energy the subtle body needs to survive the march. Funeral rites serve a technical purpose in this journey. They are a literal lifeline intended to sustain the departed through a period of extreme physical and spiritual exhaustion. On the 12th day, the earthly connection is severed. The soul arrives at its first true geographical obstacle in the realm of Yama. It stands before the Vaitarani. This is a churning torrent made entirely of boiling blood, pus, and shattered bone. How can an exhausted soul navigate this nightmare? And what kind of judgments are waiting for them on the opposite shore? The physical death on Earth was only the prologue. Now, the soul must face the full weight of its own karma.